All right, good morning. And which button is it? I think there's a button.
Button. Who's got the button?
All right, good morning. I can say this for the Arbery case. At least we're not talking about the Rona today.
Thank God for. I don't know, man. We'll talk about really having to stretch to look for a silver lining.
Yeah. Um.
And this is not something that we intend to just go back to over and over and over
No.
again. But the situation is fluid. There's more information that's coming out, and it's trickling out, and it's making the process painful.
And we will end up talking about it again, I'm sure, the next time there's a significant development in the case. Obviously the significant development, and we talked about this a little bit on Friday, and if y'all caught our live stream on Saturday with the Polytech crew,
which was a ton of fun.
Yeah, it really was. Great cats, and Danielle mentioned that she watches our show every morning and was particularly annoyed when that we had that 1 week that we didn't upload anything for a week, and it's not that we didn't upload anything. There was some weird quirk in YouTube that week where we just went forward business as usual. We went live every morning like we always did, and for some reason it just didn't save. It didn't upload to YouTube automatically afterward. YouTube has since changed things a couple of times, so that's been fun. And before we get too deep into any of this, do me a favor. Make sure that if you're watching this, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a like, or don't. You can hit the thumbs down button too. We'll notice that and take it into consideration. And please leave us a comment. I really want to get more engagement going on in the comments down there. So, but let's see some more comments in the live chat and in the comments under the video after it's published as a stationary video. I also want to point out. I also want to say hello to our guys over at BitChute. I I learned yesterday, rather comically, I thought, I set up a BitChute account for this channel probably 2 years ago, and I haven't paid it any attention since then. And just on a lark yesterday, I went to look at it, and I was going to try to start uploading our videos there. I had no idea. Our videos have been automatically cross-posting from YouTube to BitChute for like a year or so. And apparently we get more traffic on our videos on BitChute than we do on YouTube, but we don't have as many subscribers. We're a low subscriber count channel right now anyway, but if you're watching on BitChute, do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe there too. And if you're not already a subscriber over on YouTube, hop over and click us a sub on YouTube. Help us get our numbers up. And I would ask the same thing for you guys that are watching from Facebook and from YouTube. Guys, just go ahead and sub us everywhere. If you could do that for us, help us get this channel growing a little bit. We do news and political analysis on this channel.
Little philosophy here and there.
A little philosophy here and there. I'm a philosophy student and a retired military intelligence analyst. You're going to get a perspective and a deep look into the issues of the day that just is not available anywhere else. We'll try to be funny every now and then, but that's not really what we're here for. We're not Louder with Crowder. Maybe one day, but
okay, so
no Tranny Bane on the BFM yet.
That's right. So, it's
It's Be
Me
More
More
Monday.
Monday.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
yes, it is.
And on Be
And
More Monday, we talk about the narrative, we talk about the culture war, and we dissect the memes. So this is the one we're going to dig into today. There's a lot going on here. Let's start with the message that is being forwarded by this meme. The message that they're trying to put out. When you're talking about the McMichael Arbery case, the base narrative that is being shared in the media is that two unrepentant, evil white supremacists randomly selected a victim who was doing nothing more than jogging, and they murdered him in cold blood without provocation for the mere crime of being black. That's the narrative. That's the story you're being told. That a black man was jogging in his neighborhood when two evil white men randomly murdered him for no reason and without provocation. That sentence is a patent lie. It's absolutely false. There's no evidence. There's no evidence at all that these two men, the McMichaels, father and son duo, there's no evidence at all that these men are racists or white supremacists, anything of the sort. The only tangential evidence to that claim is that the left assumes if you are white, you are a racist.
especially if you're
So,
Southern or a
especially if you're
cop.
Southern. So let's just go ahead and gloss right over the painfully blatant and obvious racism in that presupposition that being white equals being racist. Just go ahead and gloss over that. We'll let them play that game for a second while we dissect the more critical pieces of that narrative. Part of that narrative is Ahmaud Arbery was simply jogging about in his neighborhood. That's a lie. That is a lie. And I don't even have to get into all the bizarre conspiracy nut crap about, oh, well, in the picture, he's wearing hiking boots. No, in the picture, it's grainy and you can't tell. Cameron told me that it looks like in the video footage of him committing the burglary over which the citizen's arrest was initiated, which, by the way, belies the rest of the claims. It looks like what he was wearing was more akin to a sneaker, a tennis shoe, something like that. So we don't need that claim, the hiking boots thing.
I
Go
don't
ahead
know
and put
that.
it from your mind.
I don't know that it was actually burglary. It was trespass, but I don't. I didn't see him actually steal anything in the video. I could have missed it. I've only watched it once. There's large sections of it where he's basically off camera. He was clearly captured by some kind of security system.
That's fair.
Apparently,
I'm only jumping to the assumption of burglary because he has a criminal history of committing crimes of taking and was on a construction site where I have a personal experience with construction sites I've worked being burglarized. Because the thing about construction sites, this happens a lot. A lot. There are valuable things on construction sites. There's bare copper wire, there's metal parts, often there's tools. Um, it is not at all uncommon for someone to go and just steal a bunch of crap off a construction site and then take it and pawn it, or even more commonly, uh, pull up and steal as much copper wire as they can carry, or steal a couple of electrical panels, anything made of metal, and take it to a recycler, where they're going to take a $2,000 master motor control panel and go to a recycler and get $20 for the metal. And then, of course, the construction company is out. Not just that the cost of the lost property, but that has to be replaced, and then somebody has to be paid to install it. It's a whole mess. So you're right. There's the if the video doesn't show him committing burglary, then all I have to go on with those assumptions are the assumptions about his character based on his past life, on his past crimes, and the connection to be made with. I can't imagine any other reason to be trespassing on an open construction site.
I mean, I suppose it's possible he could have just been being nosy or whatever, but it is reasonable to be suspicious of the activity, even if you do not know his previous history. If this is a 14-year-old kid poking around a construction site, okay, that's a little different. But this is obviously a grown man who is somewhere where he does not belong.
Whose past felony convictions include firearms crimes.
Right.
And theft by taking crimes.
I tell you, the thing that...
And then, of course, the fact that this construction site and the neighborhood in which he was jogging are a 20-mile round trip from his home.
Actually, that's come into question. It could be as short as a 4-mile round trip.
Okay, that's new information that had not hit.
Yeah, sorry, meant to tell you that in our pregame. My bad.
Well, thanks for the sideswipe.
I'm here for your updates.
Even that doesn't sound like okay. So your daily jog is 4 mile. Okay, 4-mile jog. That's a little out of the ordinary for a daily jog, but not extraordinary.
Well, 2 miles there, and then you jog around the neighborhood, and then 2 miles back. That's the part of it.
That's still a bit of a stretch.
And the other thing that's important to note is, okay, so he's supposed to be jogging. Okay, cool. Why is he in a construction site? That's not jogging activity, like, at all. Like, not even a little bit. I tell you the thing that really bothers me about this meme, personally, is that it is meant to inflame tensions. It's meant to reinforce the false narrative so that when you hear guys like Chris and I say, well, hold on now, there's some things here that don't make sense, that don't add up. Well, we're bad guys. So you're just sympathetic toward the racists. You're okay with black people being murdered. And of course, none of that is true. Nobody wants anybody to get murdered. And you could even make the argument that trespassing on a construction site should not warrant a death sentence. Okay, fine, fair point. But what did happen is he was trespassing. There was a security system in place. I'm not clear if it was the owner of the site or the manager of the construction company. He actually got a real-time alert on his phone that there was somebody on the property. And that's part of what kicked all this off. There's also multiple 911 calls. There's the existence of the video itself. And this is one of the things that we talked about when we were on Polytech's show, is that a cop is going to know if you're going to commit a felony, don't film it. And for God's sakes, don't include an extra witness to the crime and get them to film it. You'll never get away with it. So it just bothers me so bad because they want us to be angry with one another. They want us to fight over what is turning out to be not at all what the initial report was. Because, of course, the initial report was, oh, my God, racists murdered a random jogger for the crime of jogging while black. Oh, no, we're just so oppressed. And bullshit. Just utter bullshit. What really happened here was Nothing close to that situation. But just like with Mike Brown, who never actually had his hands up, and just like with the Covington kids, there's still people that think that they're racist little shitburgers because Nathan Phillips went on CNN and lied his ass off, and so forth and so on. I'm honestly tired of seeing this happen. I, I am coming to the opinion of that there's a certain amount of relations between the right and the left, and relations between whites and people of color that are not going to be able to move forward as long as these false narratives are pushed on us. Because it's real easy to hate somebody if you think they're some kind of neo-Nazi racist troll that's okay with black people being killed. It's Chris had a really fascinating way of saying this. And he said, the narrative is that if you're white, man, you're a hate crime waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. Point in fact, let's look at some of the commentary. LeBron James, we're literally hunted every day, every time we step foot outside the comfort of our homes. That's a lie. That's an absolute bald-faced lie. We're literally hunted. No. LeBron James, you're a damn liar. And frankly, this kind of lie, there should be enormous consequences for this.
Well, it's
Now,
dangerous.
and let me be clear. You should be allowed to say this, and you should suffer the consequences of being caught in a lie like this. You should be terminated. You should never be allowed another game contract. Your sports ball. I know he's a basketball player. Um, it if the I mean, who does James play for now? Who does LeBron play for now? Lakers. Yeah, I mean, and the Lakers aren't going to fire him, right? The Lakers they're that's a California team, right? So they're
Well,
perfectly comfortable with hiring and employing dishonest, patently dishonest, hate baiting racists. Because
well,
that's what you have here.
the NBA
LeBron
is okay with
James
propaganda.
LeBron James is a liar and a racist. It's not
The,
complicated. And then you got this Viola Davis chick. Action alert. Ahmaud Arbery was running in his neighborhood and was chased and murdered by two white supremacists.
he was not in his
No,
neighborhood.
he was not in his neighborhood. There's no evidence that these two men were white supremacists, and there's very good evidence that this was actually a case of self-defense in a citizen's arrest gone wrong. So to say that they're two white supremacists, that assumes facts, not an evidence. To say that they murdered him, that assumes facts, not an evidence. And to say that he was running in his neighborhood is a fact claim which is explicitly discounted by the evidence.
Yeah, and by
You
all
could
means,
you all I'm having a hard time imagining you lying racist Viola Davis, how you could be telling more lies about this case.
well, that's why they keep tensions high. I bet anything that this is what Viola Davis actually believes, evidence or not. It's what Mark Twain. What did he say? It's easier to fool a man than to convince a man he's been fooled.
Yes.
Something along those lines.
Yes.
Well, I guarantee you that this is what Viola Davis believes, and it's because of the ongoing narrative. And it goes back to the meme that we started this whole thing off with. You gotta keep people pissed.
And then you've got the mayor of Atlanta.
Yeah, God, I saw this. Mayor
Calls
Bottoms.
Ahmaud Arbery's death a lynching of an African American man. Okay, let's talk about lynchings real quick. This crime, let's assume for just a moment, for the sake of the narrative, that Arbery was in fact just murdered. So there were, at most, apparently 3 men involved in that crime. She's calling that a lynch mob. While I will concede that 3 men may be able to conduct a lynching, let me ask you this. What does a lynch mob actually look like? This is what a lynch mob looks like. 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 These people are out in the streets demanding violence. Right? That is what a lynch mob looks like.
I would have to agree. Because a lynch mob is, well, they're emotional. And they're convinced that they're right. And that justice must be done. It must be done. So who's the real lynch mob? Well, the people demanding that these guys get arrested. And maybe the head of the GBI is part of the lynch mob? Because this cycled through 3 different district attorneys, and all 3 district attorneys came up with the same conclusion that
it's tragic, but there's not a crime here.
Yeah, nope, this was not murder. Murder requires intent. And if you're assuming the McMichaels' intent because they look like fat rednecks, you're the racist, not us.
And just in case there's any doubt, when I say lynch mob, here's the Facebook comment from Shaun King, reposted out by Andy Knows so we could see it. Yeah. To Gregory and Travis McMichael, I need you to know that I know where you live and where you are hiding out. Right now, I'm the only thing keeping about 150 different people from killing you. To the state of Georgia, hold these men accountable for the lynching of Ahmaud Arbery. I assure you, it's in your best interest. Oh, do you now? So, the lynch mob that I pointed out, right? Now, Shaun King is telling us that if we don't go out and do violence to these men who may or may not have committed a crime, then he is going to either send his battalion of armed protesters to kill them. He is explicitly threatening to murder these men by way of a let's see, 150 people. That sounds like a lynch mob to me. And hold these men accountable. Oh, dear state, you will conduct an action or I will harm you.
Classy.
Now,
well, Malcolm X wasn't opposed to violence, so why should Talcum X be opposed to violence?
Yeah, I suspect that Malcolm X would not have a very high opinion of the Powder Kid here.
No, probably not.
So,
anyhow, that's about all I got. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, people. Don't let them convince you to hate somebody based on a 38-second clip, or excuse me, 36-second video that everybody is lying their ass off about. Don't fall for it.
And if you haven't seen the video, I would actually say, you might want to go take a peek at it, and see that it's very clear in the video. Nobody ever pointed a gun at Arbery until he ran over and assaulted Travis McMichael and grabbed his gun and punched him repeatedly in the face. That a man is armed does not equal he pointed a gun at me.
Yeah, and as soon as Arbery put his hands on the gun, he was no longer unarmed.
Correct. There's a spider hanging by a web directly in front of my webcam.
That is... wow. I thought there was just some distortion there. Anyhow.
That's funny. Okay. But that's all I've got for this morning. We'll see y'all tomorrow for Taco Tuesday, and hopefully we're not going to taco about this again for a while.
All right.
Oh, but one last thing. When this all comes out in the wash, I honestly expect to see the McMichaels acquitted. that might be hampered a bit by the public outrage. These men have already been tried and found guilty in the court of public opinion based
Yeah,
on the falsehoods that we've detailed here.
yeah. Good luck with an untainted jury pool.
Right. But when this is all over, I want to see the McMichaels file suit against the GBI for malicious litigation. Or not litigation, for malicious prosecution. Plain and simple. And they should file suit against every one of the celebrities that accuse them of being racist, white supremacists, and a lynch mob. They should be filing suit against Keisha Lance Bottoms directly, because what she has done is literally a crime.
Yes. Her more than anybody else, because she's a public official.
And
She's the mayor of Atlanta.
Yeah, she's a public official and an avowed racist, and she's making these racist allegations against two men without evidence. Keisha Lance Bottoms is a criminal and an avowed racist.
All right.
Because, she got that black girl magic.
I know. It's so embarrassing. It really is.
Yes, ethno-supremacy is bad.
No matter what the
I don't care what color you are.
Is. Yeah.
The belief that being a certain race makes you better than other races is bad. It's an illegitimate belief.
All right.
And that was all I had left. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Be safe out there.
Mayor Bottoms. Good Lord.
Black girl magic. Are you kidding me? I just once I want to hear somebody say I got that white boy magic.
Yeah, and then they're canceled.
Yeah.